Here we go. This is our topic today, planning and forecasting and knowing when to reorder. Uh, Quick heads up, my name is in Katana Marketing. It's Laura from Katana's product marketing team. And I'll just in a few minutes introduce our main host today. You can already see their names, but who they are. But since people are still trickling in, I have a quick question for everyone, just to get some insights from you. How do you currently decide when to reorder? So I have a quick poll for you with a few options. You should be able to, oh, there's single choice, so you have to pick kind of the main way how you're doing it right now. So while I will have this poll open here, then let's introduce our main stars today. We have Marc from the customer success team here, working daily with customers, helping them navigate through all workflows, solve problems if there are any, and also cover how to plan and demand forecast demand. And with Marc, we have Taago, who is our product manager, the man behind Katana's Katana's planning and forecasting tools. And he has something very exciting to show us today, the new AI replenishment feature. And we will definitely dedicate time to cover this. But what to keep in mind today, we'll keep the mics muted. If you have any questions, then address them all in the Q&A box that you should be seeing in the Zoom bottom banner. So even if there are some audio questions or comments, etc., feel free to add them there as well. And of course, any questions that you might be having while we go through planning and forecasting in Katana. We'll run live demos, so not just talking and sharing slides, but making it as practical as possible. And no worries if you have to step out or you want to share it later with your team members. We will share the recording with you tomorrow with a follow-up email and with some helpful resources. So what we are going to cover today is planning and forecasting overview, the plan tab screen in Katana. We're going to talk about safety stock and calculated stock, how it will help you set your buffer, making sure that you're not running low and be ahead. Replenishment, automated reorder suggestions, as well as demand forecasting, replenishment twice here for some reason, sorry for that, and AI replenishment. That's in beta still, but Taago will cover that and talk more about it. So I'll hand it now over to Taago.
Unmute. So I was supposed to keep my microphone mute, right? No. Thank you, Laura, and welcome from me as well. Basically, what it is that we are trying to solve all together with either planning and forecasting or a AI replenishment now is how do I know when I need to buy this item or whichever item? So the core problem of any inventory is actually having enough goods available, but not having too much or too many items at the time that hold up your cash and hold up your space. So what the planning and forecasting is trying to solve is to know exactly when to reorder, how much to reorder. If you have any demand pattern that is uptrending, downtrending, trying to identify this information for you and also help you making this informed decision. And whichever way is the process actually working, um, then the planning and forecasting is trying to work with you. And also keeping in mind one thing that probably Mark will cover as well, that in order for it to work most successfully, the data hygiene in your own account is something that works for you as well. And thank you for the listening here, and I would hand it back to Laura now.
Yes, another one. I'll be running some quick polls just to understand where everyone is, and definitely we can get already some of questions or things to cover during the demo. Good insights also for Mark and Taago. So another one for you. Your biggest planning challenges right now. Is it knowing when to reorder? Is it forecasting demand for seasonal spikes or setting the safety stock levels right? Coordinating when you have multiple suppliers and long lead times, different lead times for all, or maybe all of the above. So uh, pick the one that fits you best. And I'll keep this running and hand it back over now to Mark, who will cover the basics of planning and forecasting in Katana.
Thank you, Lauren. Do you mind just letting me take over screen share? Because I'm going to jump to a demo as well. All right. Perfect. Okay, so today we're going to cover a couple of things. Taago mentioned a big part of this is also going to just be talking about data hygiene in general. Good quality data in equals quality data out for forecasting. But at a high level, what planning and forecasting is, two tabs you'll find under plan. One is the actual planning tab, where you're going to look at forecasted consumption of a given product based on historical data that Katana has. That's something we can manually intervene with to calculate forward. But then also the replenishment tab, which is secretly my favorite part of the planning and forecasting functionality, which is telling us, based on all of this wonderful data that we have and things like supplier lead times, when do we actually need to reorder this thing by in order to meet a set demand? So we'll look at all of that together today. There we go. There's also a new section that some of you may have seen, but we'll cover as well today, which is the ability to classify your products for planning and forecasting by A, B, and C classification. This just adds another layer of filtering really to the planning screen so that we can see subcategories of our product, not only based on a product category itself, but by, say, in this case, if we say A are our top moving SKUs, however many you want to indicate into that bucket, and then B might be that middle ground, C might be those trailing SKUs that we don't sell quite as many of or consume as much in things like manufacturing orders. So we'll cover how to set those up as that's a new area, and then how to toggle that within the planning screen as well. A note on how calculated stock works. So I think this is largely going to be a refresher for the bulk of people on the call today, but for the sake of due diligence and again, good quality data, calculated stock is a combination of figures within Katana to help us feed the beast that is planning and forecasting. So we're looking at, what do I have physically on the shelf? That's our in-stock quantity. Expected is what is expected inbound off of maybe purchase orders we have inbound, or manufacturing orders where we're creating a finished good for ourselves, or OPOs or outsourced purchase orders, which is contract manufacturing. What do we have coming inbound? Commitments are, what are we decrementing stock with? So sales orders decrementing stock, manufacturing orders decrementing potentially materials, And then things like stock transfers as well. And then safety
Mark,
stock is just, oh yeah.
sorry, quick note. Having a couple of attendees noting that the audio is a bit bad from
Oh,
your side, not clear.
is it cracking?
It's not cracking, maybe definitely a bit quieter there, what I can also hear.
Okay, sorry, give me one moment to go old school with a pair of wired headphones and see if that helps us out here. One
No
second.
worries.
How's that sound?
Oh, much better. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, sorry about that. Okay, I'll start over with calculated stock just so we reiterate on that one. So in stock is what do I have physically on the shelf? Expected is what is expected inbound off of any production. So let's say purchase order inbound, so materials that I've purchased coming in, or products if I'm reselling them, manufacturing orders. So what am I producing for a finished good potentially that's expected inbound, or potentially outsourced purchase orders or contract manufacturing. Committed is what's allocated to an order or a manufacturing order. So if we're talking about materials on a manufacturing order or sales order commitments, and again, sell and MO screens, that commitment goes by ranking. So if we're changing ranking, that's adjusting those commitments as well. And then safety stock is just our buffer stock. It's that safety net of how comfortable am I getting close to zero stock? It's a buffer for ourselves so that we can ensure that we never hit that zero stock and that with calculated stock and with forecasting, we can ensure that we're never hitting that number. So those are all figures just to keep in mind as we go through this. Okay, so on the planning screen, again, Katana is going to help forecast expected consumption sort of month over month, week over week. But that's not the be all end all. You can edit those figures for yourself. You know your business best. If you have promotions coming up with things like Black Friday, back to school, whatever promotions you've got, or if you're going to run a promotion maybe on a given SKU that's not the norm, you can manipulate the data and reforecast and recalculate forward to ensure that you're still meeting that demand. Won't spend too much time on a slide for this. I'll show that in practice. And then my last slide before I jump into the demo is just to talk about things like supplier lead time. So when we're looking at the replenishment view and we're looking at an understanding of when is this thing expected to go out of stock based on all of those calculations, and based on my supplier lead time, that tells me how long a thing gets to me. What is my suggested reorder by date to meet that demand to ensure that I'm not dipping below zero? And that's a really important bit of that data hygiene piece because supplier lead times can fluctuate, things can change. It's always good to go through a bit of revision and make sure our supplier lead times are accurate because it's easy to let that get out of sight and fall by the wayside. But it's all important for the calculation. And then also things like minimum order quantities that we can set for ourselves as well. Okay, enough slides. Let's go into Katana. So on Katana, if we're looking at the stock screen to start, let's go with my mostly harmless T as our example SKU here. So if we scroll across, this is where we're going to find those buckets that make up calculated stock ultimately. So again, we have in stock. So we have 15 units. We have 12 that are expected inbound. We have one that is currently committed. And then I currently have a safety stock of 5 pieces. But if I want to say that's actually 6 pieces, I can change that. And that will calculate myself to a 20 pieces for my calculated stock. So again, that's that figure that I want to always use for my planning and forecasting to ensure that I'm not dipping below. If we scroll across from here and we go into the actual product card itself, this is where we're going to see things like this new replenishment tab. So a couple notes here under general info, unit of measure, that's always going to be the internal unit of measure that we're using to utilize this material. That's what you're going to see largely in things like planning and forecasting. But when we're looking at supply details, what we're getting is the ability to indicate if we purchase this in a different unit of measure. So I don't purchase in pieces in this case. I'm saying I purchase this tea in boxes, and I'm saying one box equals 20 pieces of this tea. I've indicated my default lead time is about 10 calendar days to get to me from this supplier. My minimum order quantity is two boxes rather. And then I just have a default purchase price of about $50 a box as an arbitrary number I threw on there. Replenishment, this is where I can do that ABC classification that we now have in Katana. I can either dictate an entire product under A, B, or C classification, or if this is a product with multiple variants, I can indicate individual variant classification. So if different variants have different priorities for us, SKU 1 can be an A, SKU 2 can be B. It's not dictated only to the parent product. But in this case, let's just say we're an A. And now we can jump to plan, which is what we're all here for. So let's go with top to bottom here. So plan, we've got planning, which again is our consumption, which mine's looks a little scary right now, but I'll filter down and make this look nicer. Replenishment is where we do those reorder points that we're talking about in that suggested order by date that we're looking at. We can filter down by individual products and materials. We can do weekly or monthly views for ourselves if we want to do that. And then up here is where we're going to find those classifications for ourselves. So if we click into A, we're now going to see that mostly harmless tea that I classified as an A, as well as a mug that I had previously indicated was an A as well. So here we're seeing some of the results of that data that we have in Katana. We've got 15 existing in stock. The current month of May, based on those expected quantities inbound, is showing that I'm going to be popping up to around 24, almost 25 units here. And then we're starting to see the decrementing of those units based on my forecasted consumption of this product. But again, with this, I can come in here and I can manipulate these figures like we've seen here. I've got 100 units. I could also calculate this forward and say maybe another 40 units in August is going to happen, which will then recalculate my forecast forward. So again, we can take Katana at its word of consumption, but we can always manipulate that data for us, which will then feed into the replenishment side of things. So Katana has an understanding of that consumption. On to replenishment. If we want to go ahead and look for our mostly harmless tea, there we go. So mostly harmless tea, when we're looking at replenishment, this is where we're starting to build that view for ourselves of based on our calculation. So based on me manipulating that data in Katana on the planning screen, we know that mostly harmless tea is expected to dip below our safety stock level in and around the 5th of July. We've got our forecasted stock holding here with that movement. We have our suggested order quantity to meet our demand in this case for this particular item, the purchase cost, and then my suggested order by date, again, based on that 10-day supplier lead time I set for myself for this product of 10 days is telling me somewhere in and around the 24th of June is when I should be looking to replenish this particular item. And then from here, I can simply go right through and create a purchase order for myself to then replenish that stock. So this is a great sort of best friend area for any procurement folks on the call. It's a really great place to sanity check those quantity holdings and when your reorder time should be. A couple other little things on this screen if I move away. If you're seeing things like red ASAP, obviously that means we're already past that suggested point of reorder. I have a lot of ASAPs because I don't manage a demo account correctly. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's too late. We still have that buffer stock, that safety stock we set for ourselves. And considering that safety stock is part of that calculated stock, it's not necessarily too late for you to be ordering these, but it's just telling you we're kind of into the red, so we should really be looking at these. And then you might have some that indicate yellow. That means something's expected inbound, but based on that expected inbound, it's still not necessarily going to meet that expected stock out date, but you've already done the work to reorder effectively. So those are just a couple extra fields to note within the planning screen. And that's really planning and forecasting in a nutshell. I want to give a good chunk of time to Taago to show off the really fun and exciting new things, but I'm happy to do deeper dives into this with folks on the call as needed as well for this particular component. Thank you.
Over to Taago.
Yes, still trying to fight with the mute and unmute button. So the AI-powered replenishment. Although it is doing somewhat similar job as the planning and forecasting is doing in Katana, then there are a few quite sizable differences actually. And of course, one of them is that there is a sneak peek of the direction where we are heading. You will see that today. But also, what it does, it helps you to make even more educated decisions on the topic of when to reorder. It is also taking into consideration your own plans, as you saw in the Mark's presentation about how you can manipulate the plan in Katana today. Then there is quite a lot of manual input there at the moment, but AI is making it much more effortless for you, and it helps you also with its dialogue to help you think and refine your thoughts and refine your plan. And also, it has like context about the patterns, and it can explain you what is going on in your inventory past, basically. And I would take over sharing from here to show you what I mean with that. So I hope my screen share now works. And with AI replenishment, you do have currently one access point to it in Katana, and it is in the stock view. And you have the option to analyze a single SKU or single item variant at a time, and you have the option to analyze actually multiple item variants at a time. And there is one important thing to understand is that if you have multiple locations on your Katana account, like I do here, then the AI replenishment will analyze everything throughout these locations. And I have actually selected this seasonal spiced gin as one item I wanted to show you. So in essence, when I hit on the replenish button, I have actually pre-analyzed this already. But what happens is it will gather all the historical data you have in your Katana account about that specific item variant. And it will present that historical data to you as your demand history. It doesn't matter if it was consumed by a manufacturing order or it was sold by a sales order. It will all be accumulated together here as a historical demand. And based on that information, based on your recent velocity, it is producing you forecast as well. Mind you, that forecast is purely based on the historical trend the AI can see. And in that moment, it does not have your own context. I will show you later on how to add that additional context. And I deliberately took the single SKU version first, because here you can actually see everything that we will present you in much larger detail than the multi-SKU version would. And basically what it does take from Katana is it will understand how much you have that item on hand, how much you have that item available, which means that all the commitments are subtracted from it. And it also understands, do you have any expected orders coming in for that item? And it also then takes your safety stock. It will show the safety stock for you. And it will also analyze your safety stock based on your historic or your near-term demand. So it will actually advise you to reset your safety stock if it's too high or too low based on your recent demand history. It is also understanding the lead time that you have set in Katana. In this specific item, I have not set it. It is default, which is taken from my account default lead time. And then what it additionally does, it's calculating now the reorder point. And it will also calculate the daily demand and days of stock left based on all these figures. So these numbers here are purely AI calculated numbers. And then it will end up giving you a replenishment suggestion. And the replenishment suggestion will come in different scenarios, which you might want to actually fulfill here. And all the instructions given to AI are actually written down here as well, so you can validate everything yourself. But I would like to show you now the same thing in multiple SKUs. So in my case, for example, you would want to know what you need to order and how much from a specific supplier you have. So I'm just giving you one scenario here. I select the vegetable supplier. I select all the items from that vegetable supplier and I hit replenish. I have actually done that analysis here before as well. That's why I'm not hitting it or waiting for it again. But basically what would happen here is first you would see fetching data, then you would see analyzing, forecasting, and providing the recommendations or recommending step. But it is exactly the same data available like you saw with the single SKU version. You would have the same graphic available here. You would have the same instructions available here. And also every item has a full narrative that what AI thinks about this item and what it thinks that is going to happen next with that specific item. And as you can see, I have here also the safety stock update options because these are something that my near term or near historic demand does not support, in this case, the 15 units safety stock. It actually seems to be fairly safe with 4 units. And I can easily change it here in Katana and it will update my Katana main location safety stock right here. Also, you can here create a PO, similar way like you saw in the single SKU version. You can create a draft PO, which means that you don't create any expected quantities, but you can create that PO to, for example, discuss the quantities with your colleague or get an approval from your supervisor. And then only convert the draft PO. In this case, there is also one option where my lemon peel did not end up with a suggested order, which means that I do not need to order anything right now, but I get a suggestion to create a draft order for 4th of July. And when I create that, the draft order will be created to my Katana drafts. And I can sort them in my Katana account by created date. And then on the created date, I would actually need to go and convert that PO to actual PO. And Here, as you saw in the full narrative, it might be too overwhelming to start reading everything here. So you actually have the snippets of AI takeaways on every single number here. You can see how it was calculated, what numbers it's using as a baseline. But the biggest thing about the AI replenishment is that any tool looking at history, looking at your current demand, looking at your expected orders, knows what is stored in the system. None of it knows what is in your head. None of it knows what is going to happen with your marketing campaigns. So this is why we actually have the talk to data and edit option here. You can give it full context of something that is upcoming. You can also ask anything about your data. And we can actually try what happens if I tell it that my Matt Juniper berries will have a marketing event in June 2026. I'm anticipating double one-off demand. Let's see what it does. If it understands what you mean by that, it will immediately suggest you to proceed with changing instructions. So in essence, it has a set of instructions, but here I'm now clicking the proceed button. I am changing the instructions, and I will reanalyze, reevaluate the situation with that specific item. While it's doing that, I will also show you the adding a new item here. So for example, you forgot something from the same supplier, or someone you want to basically analyze a new item. Mark showed you this ABC categorization. So one option here is to actually use your ABC categories to just select your hero products and add this new product here. And it stays in queue until the recommendation phase is completed. But you can also search for specific SKU. You can add items by your suppliers. Mind you, being a prototype, it will take time because to load your full catalog here is quite heavy. And it will also explain you how the ABC categorization works here, or how to set this. While it's still recommending, we do have the video that explains almost exactly the same thing that I'm telling you right now. I'm walking you through there. It is always available for you. You can just click the Taago Explains button and see what I mean by there. And there is also the book a call option, which takes you to the calendar where you can speak one-to-one directly to me and book a session with me. I will be really happy to do that and hear your direct feedback about that prototype. But as we are looking at what happened here, is that due to my additional information that I gave it, that I have some event coming up in June, my forecast got amended, and it actually added. Unfortunately, I don't remember what was the previous one, but it added several units to my recommended quantity. And also, if I made a mistake here, uh, I can I can revert that amended by just telling it in the chat that load fresh data from here. Let me see. Okay, it's not here at the moment. So you can always say that load the fresh data, and it will take away that amendment, and you can try amend it once more. And also, as I'm working with the same supplier here, and I have recommended quantities from the same supplier, when I create that PO in Katana, it actually advises me to select all these items that are recommended to purchase something from the same supplier, and it will combine the PO as one single purchase order. Or of course, you have the option to create the PO only for that specific item, and they will land in your Katana account. Same if you have a manufactured product, you would be creating a manufacturing order here. Or if you can do both with them, there is the selection option to do either one. And as a last thing, I would want to show you here. Imagine that you have a weekly meeting on Mondays. You can actually tell us in the chat as well, or share the feedback whether you have meetings where you share that kind of information. But let's say you do, and you would want to share that information with your colleagues exactly as you see it here, so that everyone can come to the Monday meeting prepared and start discussing your situation with a short list of items that need to be either replenished or maybe someone has some context to add there. You can select these items. You have this share button appearing here. You will have a link that you can copy and send it to your colleague. Your colleague will open it and will see that information exactly as you shared it. And they can also see the days left in stock and recommended quantity in days or in weeks, depending on your use case. And you will be all on the same page when you come together and discuss these numbers and the actions you need to do or approve these budgets together, depending on how you are actually doing your daily job in that terms. And this is all I have about the AI replenishment tool available at the moment. We are working together with our customers to improve this until it becomes a finished product. And please do remember there is the book a call option underneath. Click it, hit it, and let's work with it. But before I finish, I need to show you one thing. Actually, if you are not the owner of Katana account, so in the team, there is actually different set of users. You may be either user or an owner. In my case, I am the owner, but if you are not the owner of your account, or you want someone in your account who is not the owner to work with it, you need to give them the manage API keys and webhooks permission here, which means that this way they can work with that data set. And it is all from me at the moment. Thank you.
Oh,
Over to
thank
Laura.
you, Taago. Thank you, Taago. I'll give it back to you guys because now it's time for the Q&A. We have a bunch of questions already in the queue. Keep them definitely coming. We'll go through as many as we can. The ones that we are not able to get to, we will definitely follow up with you. But to get started with, I see multiple questions around historical sales data import. I see attendees who are maybe new to Katana, but they have years of sales history in their old system. Can they import it, or how do they then build replenishment levels and forecasts without that history if it's not able? And if you go into product, Taago, can you please zoom in a bit as well?
Yes, thank you for the link. I realize I forgot to do that. But this question I can probably answer quite bluntly that you cannot currently very easily import your history into Katana. But that is actually one thing that you can try using the AI replenishment for that purpose, because you might not really need all that history if you give it a good enough context in the talk to your data option. There is a hard way around. You can create the historical sales orders, close them in the history, but it might not necessarily be a recommended option, because the context sometimes matters more than the history itself.
Mhm. Thank you, Taago. There were two questions around importing or manually creating your own forecast consumption.
I think it's more related to the planning and forecasting as of today
Mhm.
that Mark showed. And unfortunately, there is no really good option to import the forecast, which means that you only do have the ability to. I'm not sharing anything, right?
No.
So I will, and I will make it also a bit more visible here. Uh, you would have the option to overwrite your demand, as Mark showed you, but you would have to do it manually one by one. I can tell you also that there is an experimental API key at the moment for that purpose, that you can do it over API, but it might not be there forever. Um, yeah, that is a brief answer for that.
Thank you, Dago. I think you can keep it open,
Okay.
Katara, in the background. But uh, another one around two questions related to the stock screen and safety stock levels and lead
Mhm.
times. Is the stock screen the only place to set reorder points, and can a lead time be set per supplier or only per product material?
Uh, I would take the
Two
first,
questions in one, sorry.
yeah, the question about was it the reorder point?
Yep, safety stock levels.
Safety stock
And
level, right?
reorder point meaning that uh, pretty much the result of your calculated stock, I
Yeah,
guess too.
exactly. Because we do not serve reorder point as such in Katana. We do have the planning replenishment suggested order, but the question was more about safety stock. So the safety stock can be set on the stock view. You can set it here. This is manually set. You can also import that number, but that is something that you can also do on the uh, planning and
Mhm.
forecasting detail view as well. So if I change this number here to 5, what was it? Math class bottle 750. Let's see. Okay, it was this one. Glass bottle 750, it's 5. Yeah. So it interchanges it. And as I showed you in the AI replenishment, then this number will be evaluated there. And if your near-term history or forecast numbers show different idea about the safety stock, it will recommend to change it. And the next question, I believe, was about lead time.
Yep.
Yes, it is something that you can do per your order type or based per your specific item variant. So one thing you can do it, one place you can do it is, where was it? Let me see.
General.
Yeah, you can do it in the general tab. You have the default lead time for purchase orders. It will apply to everything that you don't set on your item card. On the item card, it actually has the lead time on the item supply details. You can set it here.
Thanks, Taago. The replenishment tab visibility on materials. We have one attendee, they were on materials, they see the replenishment tab, but no projected order date. Why might this be happening?
In the plan, replenishment.
Yep.
That is a good question where I would probably need a full list of details to answer that. Because when your plan suggests that there will be quantity below safety stock in the period where your lead time suggests that you would need to order now, there would be a replenishment suggested order here. And these orders are actually set up in the order of occurrence whenever you have visibility of a stock out coming up. You would have that information here. So unfortunately, I'm not quite able to answer this at the moment. But please write to us and we will figure it out.
Thanks, Taago. Let me take another one. ABC classification. Do you have to assign it manually per SKU?
You can assign it manually per SKU, or you can assign it for the all variants like Mark showed you. There is currently no other way of setting it. It is only the way you would have set it on the specific item card. But it will apply to all variants if you set it on the header of the item card.
Yep, thank you. Let's take 5 more minutes questions because we have so many coming in. So trying to do the best here. But question around multi-supplier, multi-batch material. If one material is used heavily in a BOM, original supplier had delays, added a second supplier, so they were slightly different, but it was slightly different material. So tracking them as separate batches. Can you forecast each batch separately, given they have different suppliers and lead times? How to structure this in Katana? So forecasting batches, not really. So should it be then set up as separate products if they are slightly different, or what would you recommend, Taago?
I would say that they separate products as of today would definitely be the way to go. Although I realize that you would want and need to merge the history of these demands. So that might not be everyone's cup of tea. I also realized that there are concepts how to evaluate different sets of items. We do not serve them in Katana at the moment. So leave us your feedback is my first suggestion, how you would like to do that. But also, if you are keen on doing it right now, then separate items would be the way to go.
Thanks. Taago, AI replenishment question. How accurate are your AI generated forecasted numbers?
Disclaimer here is that AI still makes mistakes. We need to be mindful of that. It makes much less mistakes than humans do, though. And the AI asks for a smaller salary. But it also has a set of quite narrow algorithm or quite focused instructions set behind it at the moment, so that the algorithm behind it does not have that much of a playroom to hallucinate heavily. So we have given it quite a thorough testing, and the error margin, although sometimes it has made bigger mistakes, but usually the error margin is in few percents. In several separate runs, you would see always very similar numbers. But what it does really well, it actually identifies the best possible algorithm to use in order to give you that advice. So if you have a very weird fluctuating demand pattern in history, it will understand what it is. You don't have to preset anything there. It will realize, oh, it's this thing, and it will analyze it accordingly.
Thanks. Then excluding items from replenishment tab, is it possible in cases where digital products for digital products that are not purchased or made? So in Katana, probably should be set as service items.
Yes, they would be services, or if they are too old items that you don't want to see, then you should actually archive them.
Yep.
Which I don't have any here. And both of these options will eliminate them from the replenishment views.
Exactly. Awesome. Then going below safety stock level. If you don't cover the safety stock, will it go into a minus? So probably the case there is that will it go into negative stock? Calculated stock does, but your physical stock doesn't, I think is the answer here.
Yes, you can actually run below safety stock. That's normal that any company will go from time to time below safety stock. That doesn't mean that you need to panic, but that does mean that you should be reordering these items unless you want to get rid of them. But also the calculated stock would show you that you are already below the safety level. You are having more commitments than the safety stock would enable. And in Katana, your stock virtually can go to negative territory as well, although it is something that I would advise you to avoid in any possible way, because your physical items do not go negative. So try to keep them as much you have in inventory. Try to keep them as many here as well in your Katana stock.
Thank you. And one last one, and sorry everyone if we didn't get to yours. I tried to bunch them up together, but we'll follow up with you. But question around the replenishment tab, what does the period really mean? So there was a question around you have the time periods. Each column refers to the metric relates to the period. For example, when hovering over the question mark for forecasted stock, it says this column displays the item quantity forecasted to be stock in that period. So what is the period time it is referring to on the replenishment tab?
You mean here? I am trying to find the right place for the period.
Yeah, maybe Ryan, you can elaborate a bit more. Maybe we can then get back to you. I was really hoping, but yeah. Okay, so let's wrap it up. Sorry for that. Oh, click on the question mark next to forecasted stock, Taago.
Forecasted stock, yes.
The time period
This
and
column.
the period forecast. Yep. Good one,
Ah,
though.
yeah.
What is that time period?
This column displays the item quantity forecasted to be in stock in that time period. The number is based on the previous period stock level, current orders, and the period forecast. So it's
That's a really good one.
that is a very good one as a bit confusing tooltip, to be honest. Or maybe even very confusing tooltip. And that is something to be corrected, to be honest. And I would not maybe even comment it further. If you have a specific question about what does or how are any of these numbers here calculated, please write to us. We will answer that in detail.
And we will fix that tooltip. So thank you so much for pointing it out, really. Alrighty, then let's 2 minutes. We are going to wrap it up really fast. We'll send you a few quick tips how to build a forecast routine. I'll again drop in a really, really quick poll, and you can share with us if you gained any confidence using the planning and forecasting tools. I know it was definitely a lot. You can let us know definitely if you still need help. And we thank you really for joining. As mentioned, we'll share the recording and resources. You'll have these in your inbox tomorrow. You always have the knowledge base, and if you want to get in touch with us, please use the in-app chat. That's the quickest way. And when this webinar ends, you have another chance to let us know if you specifically need help. We have a survey just to get feedback, what worked, how we can improve, and what were your takeaways, and let us know if you need more help or assistance. Thank you all so much for joining. Taago, Marc, any last words from you two?
No, not really. Figured out the period part there, but I will write it down so it will be explained to everyone.
Great, thank you. We'll send it with a follow-up email then.
Yes.
Marc?
No, I'm just sorry for the microphone issues at the start. Hopefully you didn't miss too much at the beginning there. But again, happy to go sort of one-to-one with people, or we'll get back to any answers we didn't get to. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, and thank you, Taago and Marc, for walking us through the planning and forecasting capabilities in Katana. And hope to see you all very soon in our next webinar. So stay please tuned. Thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.
Thank you.
Bye.